I think he has to counter it. I think he has to come out there.
He did.
He did.
Not
He
just
said, "I didn't
him,
do
but
it."
through surrogates. You can't.
What
just,
surrogates? All the people I dated, I didn't do any. I wasn't verbally abusive to you, right? No, you were a jerk. And it's like, oh yes, he did it. He did it.
I'm just saying that. I think
You do
can
not want to bring your exes into the mix. Mario, you've just broken the code. Don't get your exes. Don't try to don't bring your exes in there. That defense would never work. Mario, you've broken the code.
Okay, I think that's where we end up now. So this
Learn
is
today. Don't break the code.
Don't break the code.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Welcome everybody, Spin Rack. The crew is here. We got Petey here. We got Cal on the phone. Cal, say what's up to the people.
Let's rock.
Today we're going to be talking about the Hardwick scandal. I can't say anything more about this, but I'm shocked. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But we wanted to tackle this because, Hardwick is one of the biggest people in comic book culture around. He's been to cons. He does sci-fi shows. He does The Walking Dead, Talking Dead. He's a comedian. He's basically been one of the proponents of the particular type of culture that we've been talking about forever.
Yes.
From movies. He started Nerdist Industries.
Yes, Nerdist. He started Nerdist.
Right, he started Nerdist. He is like one of the big dudes out there. But unfortunately, the scandal hit. His ex-girlfriend, Chloe Dykstra, put out a memo or a claim and a long-form letter to an organ I think it was called Medium, and basically she talked about a boyfriend who was abusive throughout their relationship, mental, physically, sexually abusive, and controlling. And so she didn't name who it was, but there was enough of the hints that it was Chris Hardwick. Now, look, we're not going to say that this guy is right or wrong or whatever. We're just going to talk about just the facts, what we think is going on.
This is going to be tough for me because it hits us. This is too hotbed a topic to talk about because once you say anything saying about due process towards Chris Hardwick, then it's like saying, oh, you're saying that she's lying.
No, we're not saying that at all.
And the other problem is that the courts have a situation where they're in a he said, she said thing, and that's the only way they only can deal with it that way. They can put them aside and say, hey, can you guys go in the room and see if you can work it out? Just to end this because it's like, it's a he said,
This
she
should
said.
have never happened.
Yeah. Well, it's a very difficult thing. So one of the things that's come out that's thrown this into a spin is that Hardwick has claimed that this didn't happen, and then he's shown text messages that basically show that she wanted to get back with him, that she cheated on him, and that's why he dropped her, and that months later she still tried to get back to her. Now you have other people on the other side saying,
why didn't you keep the text messages? That's what people are saying.
No, people are saying that.
That's what
people
they're
are saying that that's what you expect of victims. Victims will always try to come back to their abuse. So it's difficult to gauge. But guys, let's get onto this topic and let's see what you think about it. Cal, since you're in the universe or the netherverse or the phoneverse, tell us what you think about this whole scandal.
Should have never happened. How do we go from her publishing a letter where he's not even named to this guy having to defend him? How do you get that far? How do you go from 0 to 120 that quickly? The situation, like Petey said, is he said,
Perfect.
she said. It's something that has to be sorted out between the two of them. And instead, she decided to raise it for public consumption to do nothing other than to scat on him. That's the only reason why she did it. And the climate right now is that you can do that. You can make the allegation, put his back to the wall, whether it's true or false.
And he's lost a lot of endorsements. He's lost shows. Yeah. He's lost a lot of money. And of course, his reputation is tarnished.
Well, the other problem is that there's another portion of the sentiment is, well, Chris Hardwick is an asshole but I don't think he did that. It's like, that's not helping your case when you're at, not to say that he's not going to work again, but that's still tearing down somebody's character. And if anyone turns into themselves to become a producer, director, that you're going to be in the asshole realm. You know, you're going to be in that a-hole realm of saying, I want something. Why didn't my coffee get here? Oh my God, he's asking me, am I a slave? Well, no, you're the person's assistant. And that's the hard thing that people have right now.
You have to get a coffee for somebody? I mean, get your own damn
No,
coffee.
if I'm directing, should I go get a coffee? If I'm on set, they're doing makeup.
You should bring your own damn coffee from Starbucks when you come to set.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know the etiquette, but I'd figure, bring your own coffee before you come in.
No.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I am positive the big business has people bringing him coffee all the time.
He's just, how can you waffle? This is a serious topic. There's no time to freaking waffle. There's a man's his whole career on the line, and you're making jokes.
Look, I'm saying her allegations sound extremely serious, and they may be valid to both. But here, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. Hold on, let me finish.
Let's finish.
But one thing about these type of allegations is that people have points of view. So when you have her point of view, she's saying this is what she felt, this is what happened to her, and this is probably what she experienced. And I guarantee she's even said her boyfriend has even said this is something that he believes actually occurred.
Her boyfriend?
Her current boyfriend. But on the same
What's
hand,
he supposed to say? There's no proof either way. Her story, if we have to believe her story. Okay, again, a lot of these stories that come out are incredibly far-fetched. Like, this dude is literally, like, she has no free will whatsoever, that she can't walk out of, because she didn't end the relationship. He did. Yeah. And that's verified by text messages. So there was nothing about, well, look, I cheated because you have been abusive to me or this. No, she's trying to get back with him. And then, of course, it becomes, oh, no, it's Stockholm Syndrome. How about she's lying? How about that? How about she's lying? How about what she's saying is false? It can't be proven, but she knows because of this particular climate, she can say these things without impunity. And that's the bigger problem, that people can come over and make these accusations, make these allegations with no proof, and then this guy has been put on the defensive, and what happens? She's just going to go her merry old way. People will forget about it, but he'll forever be tainted by this allegation. People will always be looking at him sideways. And the last time I checked, being a jackass is not a crime. There is no law saying that you have to be nice to people at all. So if he's a jackass, hey, people don't have to like him, but that's not, just like Petey said, it's not something that we're supposed to use as a determinator for what's going on right now.
But see, this is where I have to disagree with you because you know what? I found the jackasses to be complete a-holes, all right? And that you can believe...
And when you're making money, you can be an a-hole.
Exactly.
When you're on the downswing of your career, you can't be an a-hole.
And I'm not saying he's on a downswing, but I'm saying that enough of people, the silence is deafening that no one's come out.
That's everyone that's scared. They're scared.
You think they're scared?
Not talking about the Me Too thing. I'm talking about people that are afraid to talk back to a-holes. You're worried about your job. It's understandable.
I got to the a-hole, but I'm saying if this guy would have made genuine connections with people in the industry.
He did have make
Hold
genuine
on, let me
connections.
finish what I'm saying. Let me say, if he would have made genuine connections with people, they would say, yo, this dude is my friend, and I don't believe this crap. You know what I'm trying to say?
That has nothing to do with it. If 100 people come out and say, I don't believe he did it, that doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter either way.
But in the court, in the court of public opinion, people are going to say, "Well, there's nobody coming out for this dude, so we can't believe." That's the truth.
The court of public opinion is a kangaroo court. It's a bunch of Keystone cops at the end of the day.
Whether it is not, that's what's coming out in the papers. That's what's coming out. This dude, no one is saying.
We're supposed to be better people than this. We're educated people. And the whole idea is you listen to what she has to say, you listen to what he has to say. If there's no way to determine who's right or who's wrong, let it go. Everybody moves on. But this is being specifically done to target people and to harm certain people or to put them on the defensive for however long, simply because there is no penalty for doing it. Okay? If he's guilty, yeah, he's going to get punished. But if she's making a false allegation, where is the penalty for that? People can't even sue. Because suing, all that happens is just keeps it alive, it drains you of money, and at the end of the day, what do you get? This person you're suing doesn't have any money. They probably can't even pay the legal expenses. So it's strictly a win-lose situation. You have to deal with the allegation, and everything else that you're saying is irrelevant. Okay? Your character is not on trial. Okay? It's whether or not you committed this particular offense. And in public opinion, These people already say she's guilty, simply because that's the milieu right now, and you can't do that.
You mean he's guilty?
Exactly that. He's guilty. She has to be innocent, because no woman would come out and make such an allegation falsely. That's never happened before. No woman would. We have to believe her. We have to believe her, and we don't need due process anymore, because there's no way on God's green earth that she could be lying, because no woman would do that, even though it's happened more than once. Okay, no woman would falsely, make a claim like this, or even worse, because it's never happened before. You have to if you want this to be a level playing field and you want it to be fair, then you have to do the same thing. If this is something serious, go to the police. Okay, make your complaint at that. Make your complaint. You want to make your complaint 10 years later? Make your complaint. Put it on record, and go from there. Other than that, you're just savaging people. This is worse than those slam books they used to have in the 70s. Okay, and then and then the other person just has to deal with it.
And it's also hard when, like, say there was a couple other people that said something, and it's a hypothetical, there's not, but then it still would be 1-to-1. You can't change the way the courts to say, if Mario has a claim about me doing something to him, and then someone else, it's still me, one case here, one there. The only thing that the courts would say is like, oh, I'm seeing you a lot. It's not like deadbeat dad syndrome. It's more like it's still a 1-to-1, and it's harder. It's harder because people turn into, let's go to. I always describe it. Let's go to Tyra and gather a group, and then let's go back and attack, instead of saying when it happens, and to teach one to do it, moving forward, to say, okay, something happens, I didn't like this sort of thing, you're being abusive. Say it at this point now in this climate for someone, there's someone that's doing that, and then you can police the ones that do it presently, but when we go back, it's harder it just turns into like a tell-all book with some salacious stuff, and then the people get their lawyers and say you didn't have the right to say that, and this, that, and the other. It turns into something that we can't prove, and then people believe what they want to believe. So it's just, and for me, it was hard to even say this, because these stories are coming out, not to say they're true or false, but it's hard to, it's hard to go on anyone's side, because it's he said, she said, and if you've ever been to court, that's what it is. The courtroom takes you to the side and say, you guys want to work it out? Because you put it in their hands, then only people that are going to make out are the lawyers. Because once you start making precedents, so there's multiple number of claimants can sort of work a group together, then take somebody down, then the lawyers will be like, more money for us. We're taking on more cases.
So gentlemen, the question that we're having here is whether this is it. Are we talking about, is this whole, what are we calling this? The Me Too takedowns? Is this basically the end of it?
That's not it.
No,
it's not. And the thing is that
how long can something like this continue?
Well, it's not going to exist forever. It won't exist forever, because you have situations like this where nothing comes of it. And at the end of the day, you have more people. You have more people speaking out, which is good. If you have people, and again, I understand it must be very hard to come out and share something like this publicly. But in the same breath, we see people sharing it publicly, but they're not filing anything. They're not doing anything to try to get the law involved. And that's where everything is already set up to deal with this. Not the fact that you've got 100,000 people on Twitter shaming somebody.
Yes.
Okay. But the fact that you can actually say, no, there is going to be an actual penalty to this, because most of these guys can ride it out. Hardwick will take the flack right now, and people will be like, oh yeah, see, I hated him. He was such an a-hole and blah blah. Yeah, he'll ride it out. That's why a lot of people won't say anything. He'll ride it out. He'll wait. He'll be able to rehabilitate or reintroduce himself or what have you, and he'll be fine at the end of the day. Especially since there's no floodgate of women coming. He did it to me too. That hasn't been the situation.
So wait, you're saying if there's more than one woman coming out, you're saying that enough? If there's a floodgate, then that's a damning.
No, he's not saying that.
No, it's not. For me, look, every situation has to be every situation. The fact that 60 are coming out doesn't mean that they're telling the truth. However, in all the situations that I've seen, when they had the same situation with Morgan Freeman, it fizzled, because they was like, look, they couldn't get any groundswell for it. And this whole Me Too movement is based on numbers.
Yes.
Okay, it's not based on accuracy or validity. It's based on numbers. If 100 people are saying it, it must be true. I thought we learned, if 100 people are jumping off a bridge, are you going to follow them? It's no different than that.
If
So
it's
the
in
whole idea
style.
is, look, we're supposed to take care of this. We're supposed to take care of this with the laws. We're supposed to take care of this with the courts, all that type of stuff. And the whole idea is, if you really want to put pressure, throw the pressure there. So these guys have to do their jobs. You know, they have to prosecute these cases, and the verdicts have to be to the point that they're so public that people realize, yes, you know, we are doing this. Not this stuff in Twitter, because they'll move on eventually. And then you're going to have this new generation of people who come over and say, no, you know, people just cry wolf, and nothing ever happens of it. And the guys who are the wolves, they're just going to get smarter. They're going to realize, okay, this is how it needs to be done, so I can continue to do this. Right? It's not like we haven't seen this before, because these laws came about in the 70s. The 70s and the 80s, and then they'll, you know, add a little stuff here. But eventually, you can only add so much stuff if people are not taking up. Like, look, if it's happening and you're not going to take the option on it, okay, and you're not going to say, come on, I have to file this complaint, then, you know, what do? And it's not as simple as what we're seeing right over here. Because anybody who has a job and has a boss, I am certain the boss has done stuff where you're like, you know what, I could go to the Department of Labor and file a complaint. But then you wonder, if I do this and if it doesn't work, where am I in terms of my job? So it's not limited to this. It's not easy in this situation or a whole bunch of other situations, but you do have that particular option. And for the rest of us, we don't have the option to say, hey, yeah, my boss is a jerk, okay, and this is what he did. He made me go get coffee. And then 100 people come out, yeah, my boss made me go get coffee too.
Look,
and it can't be, well, this guy's a jerk.
I think, but you know what? I think that's part of it. I think
He's a jerk.
You know what? If it doesn't go to court, then
unfaithful.
you can say that, because you know what you're gonna have is, like, if someone made an allegation against someone like Beyonce, you know, her beehive,
Or
will come
like
off her-
Trump.
You know,
And
even
can't
Trump,
do nothing.
You're gonna do no. His supporters are gonna come and troll your ass like there's no tomorrow. You know what I'm trying to say? So, you know, in a court of public opinion, you know, it doesn't matter. It's whose voice is louder.
Is that what we're talking about? Is that what we're talking about? If we're talking about the court of public opinion, we don't need to talk about it.
No, but I'm just saying, we were just saying that in terms of him. Yeah, it's easy to say, Cal, that, you know, and we're going longer than we should, but it's easy to say that, you know, she doesn't have any proof, she doesn't have anything. But you know what? There's a vocal minority out there, or a vocal majority out there, that believes what she has, and they're pushing a particular thing. And even
So what are you saying?
I think he has to counter it. I think he has to come out there.
He did.
He did.
Not
He said, "I
just
didn't
him,
do
but
it."
through surrogates. You can't.
What
just,
surrogates? All the people I dated, I didn't do any. I wasn't verbally abusive to you, right? No, you were a jerk. And it's like, oh yes, he did it. He did it.
I'm just saying that, you know, I think
You do
can
not want to bring your exes into the mix. Mario, you've just broken the code. Don't get your exes. Don't try to. Even Shaft. They had to bring up Shaft again. You're good in bed, but you're afterwards. Don't bring your exes in there. That defense would never work. Mario, you've broken the code.
Okay, I think that's where we end up now. So this
Learn
is
today. Don't break the code.
Don't break the code. I don't think chicks are gonna like that. Spirak, out.